Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. On this video I am going to be giving you my player ratings from our 1-1 draw with West Ham. I've just recently given you my match reaction, so let's get on with it. So I'm going to give David De Gea a 6 out of 10. David De Gea of course failed to keep out Mikel Antonio's penalty. But I think he did make a couple of good saves in the game to deny Mikel Antonio, and he also made a fantastic save to deny Jarrod Bowen. I do believe that was a deflected shot. Now Solskjaer did make an admission regarding David De Gea just before the game, saying I did consider dropping David De Gea because recent reports did say that, David De Gea could be dropped for our 2 remaining games and Sergio Romero could start instead. But he did stick, with David De Gea. It was David De Gea's 403rd appearance for the football club in all competitions, and David De Gea has received a lot of criticism recently. Obviously, reflecting on his calamitous mistakes, because he made 2 mistakes, did David De Gea, against Chelsea, because he should have kept out Giroud's shot and he also should have kept out Mason Mount's shot. Like I've said to you before, David De Gea's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Manchester United, and David De Gea is now approaching his 10th year at the football club. I do also believe that David De Gea will be in goal in the game against Leicester on the final day of the season, but he may not start in our Europa League games. Solskjaer may decide to start Sergio Romero in our Europa League games. But so we'll give David De Gea a 6 out of 10, but I think next season possibly Dean Henderson could become our number 1. But I don't think we'll sell David De Gea in the summer transfer window. But I said, when he does leave Manchester United, he will go back to Spain. FosuMensah, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. I don't think he made a fantastic impact, did FosuMensah. He started at right back, surprisingly. He came in for Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka did come on though in the game, so I'm going to give Wan-Bissaka a 7 out of 10 because I thought he made a fantastic impact when he came on. Defensively looked very, very good and showed some good attacking intent. I think the reason Bissaka didn't start the game is because he sustained a slight knock, if I am correct. But I don't think FosuMensah was too good. FosuMensah, was that his second appearance in like 16 months for Manchester United? Obviously, in the 2-0 win against Crystal Palace, FosuMensah played at left back, and that was his first appearance in Man United in just over 3 years. Because don't forget, FosuMensah was out with injury for quite a while. Victor Lindelof, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Like I said, I thought Victor Lindelof had far too many touches in the game. Lacked them decisive passes, because he's passing sideways, and that was Victor Lindelof. And at times looked sloppy on the ball, but he did actually looked composed, so we'll give him a 6 out of 10, Victor Lindelof. Harry Maguire, same sort of perception of what I've got with Lindelof. Harry Maguire had far too many touches, especially in that first half. I thought he nullified Mikel Antonio very, very well, but took far too many touches. Did look composed though, to be fair. So we'll give Harry Maguire a 6 out of 10. Give him a 6 out of 10. And I thought he was quite wasteful in possession as well. Brandon Williams, going to give him a 7 out of 10. I don't think he had a bad game, Brandon Williams. I thought he made some good runs, showed some good attacking intent, but he came up against Jarrod Bowen and didn't do too good, coming up against Jarrod Bowen. So he's got a 7 out of 10 as Brandon Williams. Paul Pogba, he's going to get a 5 out of 10 for another poor performance by Paul Pogba. Don't forget, he made a blatant handball that obviously, led to West Ham's penalty. It was obviously, a free kick from Declan Rice, and then obviously, Paul Pogba blatantly handballed it. Obviously, VAR had to intervene to confirm that it was a handball because of the first, they thought that the ball had hit Paul Pogba in the face. So they didn't really make an impact, Paul Pogba, and it is a surprise It really, really is a surprise.
Joe, get that off. They told about it. Have you seen half-time score at Liverpool?
3-0.
3-1. Giroud's just got a goal back.
3-1. Yeah.
That's half-time.
Yeah. But like I was saying, yeah, sorry about just talking, yeah. So he's going to get a 5 out of 10 is Paul Pogba. But I did say, didn't I, since the resumption of the season, Paul Pogba's made an impact. But in the last 3 games or so, he's just looked a bit off the pace as Pogba. And I think we are going to get him a new contract at the football club, because Fabrizio Romano did recently say that we want to extend Pogba's contract, and Pogba's agent Mini Raiola is waiting for that offer. There was reports coming out last week saying that we was close to getting Paul Pogba a 5-year contract at the football club. And this contract announcement's expected at the end of the season. But if he signs this 5-year deal, it'll keep him at Man United until 2025, Pogba. But yeah, poor performance. Very, very poor. But at times, looking at it on the other side though, at times Paul Pogba, was quite quick on the ball, so I will give him that. Nemanja Matic, we're going to give him a 6 out of 10. He did look composed on the ball, but every time he got the ball, he took like 8 or 9 touches. So Nemanja Matic took far too many touches. So weren't the best of performances by Matic. Bruno Fernandes, going to give him a 6 out of 10. Again, lacked that composure, which is unusual of him. But I think in the last 2-3 games, Bruno Fernandes has looked a bit off the pace. He had some okay moments in the game. I still think Bruno Fernandes has made the difference in the team, because obviously, he's got 9 goals for Man United since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon in January. And don't forget, Bruno Fernandes became the first Manchester United player to win back-to-back Player of the Months since Cristiano Ronaldo, because Bruno Fernandes won Premier League Player of the Month for June, and he also won it for February. Marcus Rashford, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Weren't the best of performances from Marcus Rashford. I thought he started quite well, did Rashford, but weren't at his best. He really, really wasn't. And like I said, I think Rashford, has he scored like 2 or 3 goals now since the resumption of the season. Like I said, Rashford was a big miss earlier on in the season because he was out with that back injury. But, weren't the best of performances by him, surprisingly. Like I said, in the game against Chelsea, Rashford didn't really get enough service, did he? Let's be honest. But still a very, very good player. Mason Greenwood, I thought he made an impact. I'm going to give Mason Greenwood a 7 out of 10. Obviously, Greenwood was the one that got our equaliser. Obviously, tonight's game was Mason Greenwood's 50th appearance for the football club. And now Mason Greenwood has got 17 goals for Manchester United in all competitions. But I think Greenwood has enjoyed a fantastic first full season in our senior squad. And Solskjaer's been talking a lot about him recently, Mason Greenwood. But he's looked a bit off the pace in the last few games, obviously, because Greenwood just recovered from that minor ankle injury that he had. But looks very effective on that right-hand side. And Anthony Martial, I'm going to give him a 7 as well. Martial, looks the most likely player to score for us in that first half. Don't forget, Martial had that great chance. Fabianski had saved it. Greenwood as well, he could have got another goal because he also had a great chance, and it produced a fantastic save from Fabianski. Odion Ighalo also came on in the game. Like I said, Solskjaer only made 2 substitutions. Going to give Odion Ighalo a 6 out of 10. He didn't look so bad actually, when he came on. So that is your player ratings from our 1-1 draw with West Ham. You've just seen my match reaction. It is 2 points dropped, but the positive is that we are now in the top 4. And we only need 1 point against Leicester on the final day of the season to get qualification for the Champions League. So if we draw against Leicester or if we beat Leicester, we'll get qualification for the Champions League. But if we lose to Leicester, then we won't get qualification for the Champions League. Obviously, it's now 2 games without a win for Manchester United. But the good news is now we are unbeaten in our last, 13 Premier League games. 13 Premier League games. From a West Ham perspective, you know, they'll be very, very delighted with a point because they are now safe at West Ham. I knew West Ham, you know, weren't going to go down anywhere. And like I said, you know, we've struggled against West Ham for quite a few years now. We've really, really struggled against them. Obviously, you know, we haven't beat them tonight. You know, we lost to them earlier on in the season 2-0 at the London Stadium. We also lost at the London Stadium last season by 3-1. West Ham were looking to do the double over us for the first time in the Premier League since 2007. Because West Ham have not been as at Old Trafford since 2007, you know, which is 13 years ago now. But West Ham, you know, will be really, really delighted with the point. I think quite a few of their players played quite well. I think Bowen had a pretty decent game for them. Mikel Antonio had a decent game for them. Fabianski made some good saves to West Ham. Fornals did quite well. Mark Noble did quite well. And I think for the vast majority of that first half, you know, West Ham did, you know, really, really dominate. But I actually not expected Manchester United to win this game. Solskjaer's team selection, you know, weren't that questionable. I don't think, you know, he really got it wrong. Obviously, you know, he got it wrong in the 3-1 defeat to Chelsea in the Cup because I went through with you the mistakes that he'd made against Chelsea. You know, he made a mistake by not starting Romero. He made a mistake by not starting Romero. Made a mistake by not starting Pogba and McTominay. Made a mistake by not starting Martial and Greenwood. Surprisingly, you know, McTominay didn't start the game tonight, and he didn't even play any part of the game. I actually, you know, thought McTominay would have started. Obviously, you know, Fred, he didn't play any part of the game either. But it was just one of them things, weren't it? Just one of them things. But Leicester's going to be a very, very difficult game on the final day of the season. You know, it's going to be really, really difficult. And I think Leicester have enjoyed a very, very good season. You know, they have been in a bad vein of form recently of Leicester. Obviously, you know, they recently lost to Tottenham 3-0. But let's put into the equation, you know, Leicester have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. You know, they lost Maguire to us. You know, they lost Mahrez in 2018 to City. You know, they lost Danny Drinkwater and N'Golo Kante. But there again, on the other hand, they've recruited quite a few good players in recent years, have Leicester. And I think Brendan Rodgers has done an absolute fantastic job. You know, like I said in the game tonight, you know, David Moyes was reuniting with Manchester United. You know, David Moyes is a former Manchester United manager. Obviously, you know, Moyes enjoyed around, 9 months with Manchester United. Obviously, you know, it didn't work out under him. That's why we got rid of him. Of course, you know, Ferguson was ever at the fault for recommending David Moyes in. But this has been David Moyes' second spell with West Ham. And prior to the game, you know, in Solskjaer's press conference, Solskjaer was asked about David Moyes, and even Solskjaer said, you know, David Moyes is now doing a good job with West Ham. They've had some very, very good results recently, including the one tonight. You know, they beaten Watford not too long ago. You know, they beaten Norwich. You know, they had a great result against Chelsea in that. And like I said, you know, West Ham have got some good players. Also, you know, David Moyes was talking himself prior to the game, and, you know, he's said the difference between him and Ole is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's being given time. Moyes felt as though, you know, he didn't get enough time at Manchester United and that. But he also felt like he got treated unfairly at Manchester United. Now, we have got a few injuries. If Luke Shaw would have been available tonight, then I think Luke Shaw probably would have played instead of Brandon Williams. I thought Luke Shaw was going to be available, to be honest with you. Don't forget, you know, Luke Shaw has been out with that ankle injury, so he's now missed our last 3 games, including, you know, the game tonight. Hopefully Luke Shaw's available for Leicester. We've got Tuanzebe and Phil Jones that are out with injury. I actually heard that they're going to be out until August. Phil Jones and Alex Tuanzebe. Eric Bailly, you already know the news regarding him. Solskjaer confirmed that he was going to miss the game tonight against West Ham anyway. His head injury is not severe, which is very, very good. Bailly did remain in London recently to have all the checks. But Bailly recently did get discharged from hospital. And my only element of concern about Eric Bailly is that he is injury prone. So in the game against Leicester, it's going to be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches that game. It really, really is. But like I said, you can see the areas in the squad where Manchester United are lacking. You really, really can. I think, we need a striker, we need a right winger, and we also need a box-to-box midfielder. Well, centre defensive midfielder. There's still some reports saying that we're looking to recommend a centre-half, and, we have got 7 centre-halves in the team. Solskjaer was recently asked about the importance of Champions League qualification, and Champions League qualification is very, very important, for the players, for us attracting players, and for the financial structure, because we'll generate money, if we do get qualification for the Champions League, we will generate money in that. But like I said, there's a lot of uncertainty regarding the summer transfer window because of the financial impact of the coronavirus pandemic. I'm actually unsure what our transfer budget's going to be. Solskjaer did say quite a few weeks ago he's unsure what his transfer budget's going to be. Our pre-season plans and our transfer strategy are all up in the air, because of the uncertainty of how the current season will finish. But Solskjaer's revealed his plans for the summer transfer window. He obviously wants to sign players and he wants to use academy products. But the summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. And we know the summer transfer window is opening very, very soon. It's opening on the 27th of July. But it's going to be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches it. Like I said, the 2 biggest tests now Solskjaer's facing is the summer transfer window, because it's going to be interesting to see who he recommends in. Also, too, Solskjaer's got to decide on who he's going to get rid of in the summer transfer window. And like I said, I think we're going to get rid of at least 6 players in the summer transfer window. And one of the biggest tests for him is next season, like I said earlier on today. Because next season Solskjaer will have bigger expectations to exceed at the football club. I said next season our expectations will be to challenge for the Premier League title. Because like I said, we haven't won the league since 2013 and this has been the 7th season now. We have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. But like I said, our priorities for the remainder of this season is top 4, get that draw against Leicester and get top 4. That will put more confidence into the team. And the Europa League, that's also a priority for us, because if we win that will be our first trophy under Solskjaer, and that's the only thing we can win this season under Solskjaer. And I think we are emerged as one of the favourites to win the Europa League, but we win the Europa League anyway, we'll get automatic qualification for the Champions League. We did win the Europa League back in 2017 under the Jose Mourinho era, but we haven't won a trophy now for just over 3 years. And that's the first time we've done that since the 1990s. But Solskjaer has now been at Manchester United for 18 months. It's over 18 months now. So he's been at the football club over a year and a half. But Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager next season, regardless of whether we get top 4 or win the Europa League. He's still going to be here next season, because he needs at least another season, because it is a transition period, and it has been a transition period for a while. It's been a transition period for a while and he is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. And like I said though, Solskjaer is inheriting players either from the Jose Mourinho era, he's inheriting some players either from the Van Gaal era, and there's still matter either from the David Moyes era. There's still a few players either from the Alex Ferguson era, but the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's and that. And like I've said to you, I have seen improvements under Solskjaer. Like I said, our recruitment's really, really improved under him. Because Solskjaer's brought 5 good players into the football club so far and spent just over £200 million on them. Last summer he bought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January he bought Bruno Fernandes and Odin Igalo in. But we have been criticised for several years, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also been criticised for overpaying for players. I think we've also... I think some aspects of our game have improved under Solskjaer, but I still think, there's some aspects of our game we do also need to improve on. I think, we need to keep the ball better. We need to pass the ball better. We need to be quicker on the flanks. Maybe we need to be a bit more clinical in front of goal. Maybe our football needs to look more expansive. Maybe we need to improve defensively in that. But I have still, seen some improvements. I've still seen some aspects of our game improve. I really, really have. Like I said, the likes of Rashford, Martial and Mason Greenwood have been in scintillating form. They really, really have. And I also do believe that the combinations in the team have really, really improved. I think Lindelof's done quite well alongside Maguire, even though they've had some bad games between them. Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba have looked very, very good together in our midfield. But like I said, Fernandes has been quite poor in the last 2 or 3 games. Hasn't played to his best. Pogba's been poor in the last few games for Manchester United and that. But there's still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed. And I think Solskjaer's told Ed Woodward the areas where he wants to strengthen up in the Manchester United team. One thing Solskjaer's confirmed is that he will not tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. I think we've promoted the youth very, very well, and that's another thing I do credit Solskjaer for, because the young players have been given their chances this season. Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended in to the football club. Our approach to the big games... Well, our approach to a lot of the big games this season have been very, very good, because we've taken like 18 points against the top 6 sides this season. So that's also, very, very good. But I still don't know if Solskjaer is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Don't forget, earlier on in the season, we'd enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. And at that point, there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in, and there was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming into the club. But we know we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers, because Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. Like I said, on my next video, I'll be giving you an update on some transfer news. We'll be talking with you a bit more about Jadon Sancho. We'll be talking with you a bit more maybe about Grealish. I want to also give you the breaking news on Nathan Ake from Bournemouth. But there has been, so many players on our agenda, But we have got to spend money, to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool and that. So yeah, anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.